Hello, we're live. Hi, everybody. I can't believe we're back here again so soon. I'm so excited. So, welcome to another Christmas workshop. I'm so excited you're all here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let me know that you can see me okay and everything's all right. We did have a few issues last stream, so I'm just hoping that this time everything will go smoothly. Yeah, let me know if you can see me. So I'm reading off a teleprompter here, just to let you know, because I am a complete introvert and I'm terrible and I'll trip over my words if I don't. So we're just going to wait a few minutes while people join the stream, and in the meantime, as always, let's chat. So my name is Emma and I run a community full of amazing makers called Polymer Clay Loves. I live near Lancaster in the UK and I would love to know where you're from in the world, so let me know in the chat. Just having a look in the chat, everything looks good. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so speaking of chat, we have some lovely moderators who will be answering your questions. So if you have a burning question, this is the perfect time to ask. There will also be a short FAQ session at the end where you can ask me any questions that you'd like. So drop your question for me at the end of the stream in the chat. So I've got a really special surprise for you today. I'm doing a giveaway. So at the end of the stream, I'll be picking a winner to receive my new Jewel Tone Colour Recipe Collection. And that shows you how to create 27 beautiful colours. If you're new to colour mixing and you're thinking, what is she talking about? Don't worry, I'll be mixing some colour recipes with you during this stream. So stay tuned until the end when I do the giveaway and I'll announce the winner. So today we're going to be using some FIMOsoft to create these pretty gift tag earrings. As I mentioned, I'll be sharing some colour recipes with you as well as some tips and tricks to help you along your clay journey. So here's what we're going to need to get started. We'll need a block of FIMOsoft Indian Red, colour reference 24, some FIMOsoft White, colour reference 0, some lemon, colour reference 10, and Brilliant Blue, which is 33. So the materials that you'll need for this workshop are a small glass plate, cutting board, or ceramic tile for rolling out your FIMO. You'll need a rolling pin, or you can use a glass bottle. You'll need various size circles. You'll need 2 jump rings, oh, that's 4. You'll need 2 jump rings. You'll need 2 fish hooks, and you'll need a gift tag template. And I'll show you what I mean by that a bit later on in the stream. So items that you'll probably have at home, you'll need a baking sheet, an oven, an X-Acto knife and tissue blade. You'll also need a sharp stick to make holes, and you'll need some pliers as well. So guys, there's going to be a lot of information in this workshop, so please don't worry if you miss anything. You can use the exact same link that you clicked on to watch me now. You can click that same link again to watch me, to watch this replay back later. So let's get started. I'm just going to pop my camera above me so that you can see what I'm doing. Bear with me. Oh, I'm from France. Greetings from Greece. Hello. Oh, hello guys. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay guys, can you see me? I know it just paused there for a second. Let me know that you can see me okay and everything's good. Let me just switch my camera and bear with me. I know it's upside down, so I'm just going to quickly fix that. One moment. There we go. All right, so is that okay? Does that look okay, everyone? Let me know. Is it blurry? I think it might be blurry. Oh, there we go. Autofocus. Okay, lovely. All right, is that better, guys? Ah, perfect, lovely. Perfect. I'm so glad you can all see me. Thank you all for your patience. All right, so what I've got here, I quickly wanted to show you the color recipes that a lucky winner will be winning today. So this is my new jewel tone collection, and basically what it does is it shows you exactly how to mix all 27 of these colors using only 4 colors, which is Brilliant Blue. It's not lemon. We're using lemon today, but we'll actually be, for these recipes, you'll need sunflower yellow, you'll need Indian red and white to create these recipes. So with just 4 colors, you can create 27 recipes. So that's what someone will be winning today. So stay tuned until the end. So now that we've covered that part, I'm just going to move these aside. Bear with me. And we're going to get into making the gift tag earrings. So I would absolutely love to know are you a newbie at this? Are you new? Is it something that you've done before? Let me know where you are in your clay journey. I would absolutely love to know. So let's get started. The first thing we need to talk about is cleaning your surface. So how I clean my surface is I just grab a wet wipe. And cleaning your surface is really, really important, guys, because you don't want to get dust in your clay. It's not completely avoidable, but you can remove as much as you can. And by doing so, you know, you just end up with a nicer looking piece that doesn't have, you know, any visible, or hopefully no visible dust in it. So once I've done that, I just go over it with a kitchen towel just to dry it. Okay, and then I have no idea where it is now, but usually I'll use a lint roller to go over this again just to make sure I get any last bits of dust. So lint rollers are really, really great for just minimizing dust as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to condition some clay. And to condition clay, what I mean by that is basically being able to use your clay and, you know, make sure that it's kind of workable. You don't want it to be hard and brittle. You want to kind of roll it out so eventually it becomes just nice and smooth and workable. And some people do this. Some people you can warm it up by popping it in a sandwich bag and then popping that sandwich bag into some warm water, or you can leave it in somewhere in your home that's a little bit warm to just warm it up and make it a bit more workable. When I condition my clay, I make sure to fold it over like this because you don't want to trap any bubbles in it, and then I will roll upwards to push any air out. Because if you trap air in, you will get bubbles, and you don't want bubbles when you're baking because it will show through. You know, once you've actually hardened the piece, it will show through in your piece, and you just don't, you know, you don't want that. If I get a bubble, I will show you exactly how I get rid of it. So what I'm doing now is I am going to make a colour recipe with you. So the colour recipe that I'm making is berry red, and that is this colour here. And to do that, I'm just going to roll this out. This is preconditioned, but if it wasn't, I'd be doing a lot more rolling, maybe take about 10, 20 minutes just kind of rolling it out to make it nice and soft. And what I've got here are two, these are just coasters, but you can use whatever you want. You can use popsicle sticks, stacks of paper, stacks of cards, and put them either side of your clay and then just roll them out that way. So I'm just rolling this out, and you just want to make sure, I forgot to say, the most important point is to make sure that they are the same width on either side so that your clay is rolled out to the perfect width. So to make berry, we're going to need blue, half the blue. So I'm just going to make a really, really small, I'll make a bigger one so you can see it better. So I'm going to do half blue for this one. So I've just made my square there, and then I'm going to cut it roughly in half. And I'll just pop that half away. Okay, so I'm going to do that one. And then we need some red. So we've got red here, and I'm just going to quickly run over that. And just to say, when you're using your tools and moving from colour to colour, it's really good, get into good practice of just wiping your tools down to make sure that the colour doesn't transfer onto your clay. So I'm also just going to do some red here, and I'm just going to, this has been pre-conditioned. It could do with a bit more conditioning, and actually I'm glad that that happened, because you see how that broke there? That means that it needs more conditioning. You don't want it to break. So that for this, you would maybe go over it for another 10-20 minutes to make sure that it, when you're folding it, it doesn't break. That's how you'll know that it's really, really well conditioned. So for time's sake, because I'm only using this colour to mix, I'm just going to cut the pieces out that we need for the colour recipe. And what we need is 3 red. So I'm going to have to roll this out a couple of times. So that's 1. I really could have cut that a lot better. And because this is just something that I'm going to be smooshing and mixing with the other colours, I'm not really too bothered about it kind of, you know, being out of shape. The most important thing is that I get the colours accurate, which is why I'm just cutting off the sides here where it didn't quite pull away very well. Because you want to be as accurate as you can when you're mixing your colour recipes. So that's the first red. And then I'm going to just quickly roll this out again to make another square. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Oh, newbie and terrified. Oh, don't be. Honestly, it's so fun. Once you get into it, honestly, it's just so incredible. And the things that you see people make, like the jewellery, the home decor, it's just so incredible what you can make with polymer clay. And what's so lovely about FIMO is that they have so many different colours, so many different styles. Like you can get FIMO effect, which has like really cute like shimmery effects in it as well. So yeah, no, don't be terrified. Honestly, it's just the most fun thing. Just have fun with it, you know. But one thing I would say is if you can, before you buy all of your tools and everything, just do a bit of research, because I remember I got into polymer clay just before lockdown, and the day that I was told, okay, Emma, you have to go home now, we're shutting down for lockdown, I quickly ran to my nearest store to buy some clay. But because I hadn't done my research, I picked up air dry clay instead of polymer clay, and I was so disappointed when I got home. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love air dry clay, but it's just I wanted polymer clay. So yeah, definitely do your research before you get into it. So I'm gonna just do this one, and then we've got one more to do after this. Has anyone ever done colour mixing here before? Just gonna do that just to condition it and make it a bit warmer. Is anyone here familiar with colour mixing? Let me know in the chat if you've done that before, or if you've watched one of my streams before, because I usually share colour recipes in my streams. So I'm just going to roll that out. Again, see, it's not conditioned as well as it could be. It needs a good 10 to 20 minutes. But obviously we don't have that time right now. So I'm just going to work with what we've got. But when you're making your beautiful pieces, please don't do this. Just make sure it's conditioned really beautifully. And actually we have a bubble there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I think you maybe can if I shade it. No, that doesn't help. But there is a slight bubble right there, and in that case what you do is you just grab your X-Acto knife, make a slit, and just push the air out when you get a bubble, and just, you know, just go over it like that. You just want to avoid any bubbles that you can. So this is the last one. So just to recap, for this color recipe, you need half blue and 3 red. So I've got my half blue here and my 3 red. And now what I'm going to do is just mix them all together. And to mix by hand, it's, I mean, look, a pasta machine is not necessary at all when you start out, but I will say when you're color mixing, it's and conditioning, it's a lot quicker. But again, it's not necessary at all. But I will show you how to color mix by hand shortly. I'm just going to try and roll this up. So see how I've rolled that now? I'm actually just going to do this on either end just to push the air out of either end. And I'm just going to roll it into a snake now. So bear with me. Last live stream when we made Christmas charms was my first time color mixing. Oh, thank you so much for joining me for that one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me again. It's so awesome to have you here, all of you. Thank you so much. Really excited about this giveaway. So this basically, in a nutshell, is yeah, how to color mix. And for the giveaway, the collection is 27 recipes. And yeah, you'll be able to mix them just like this. So when you're color mixing, I roll it out into a like a snake, and then I fold it. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, internet problems. Can everyone? Am I back? Can you guys see me? Hello from Florida. Hello, Katrina. Oh, you made the Christmas wreaths. Oh, that's so awesome. I would love to DM me. Please DM me and show me what you made. That's incredible. I'd love to see. Oh, perfect. I'm back. Thank you. So, as I was saying, I just fold and twist, and eventually the colors will mix together. And whilst I'm quickly doing this, I'm going to, if you were here last stream, then you'll already have these color recipes. But for those of you who weren't, we are mixing some other colors, and we are mixing this army green color here. And the recipe for that is 2 blue, 3 yellow, and 1/4 red. So grab your pens, I'll read it out again. You need 2 blue, 3 yellow, and 1/4 red to make this one here. For this light green color here, you'll need 3 blue, 9 yellow, 1/4 red, and 3 white. That was 3 blue, 9 yellow, 1/4 red, and 3 white. So those are the colors that we're going to be using today, and we're going to be using the Indian red, just the pure Indian red, not mixed as well. So basically, this is going to take a while to mix, so I'm not going to do it on stream, but if you just keep going with that folding and twisting process, you'll eventually come to this color here. So let's get started with the actual gift tag earring. I'm just going to clean my surface because we're using white and we don't want to get any of the residue from the red onto the white. And I'm also going to clean my hands. And that's another thing that I forgot to mention is when you're working with polymer clay, as well as cleaning your surface, you want to be cleaning your hands as often as you can, like washing them. I'm just using wet wipes now because obviously I can't leave the stream, but I've got like red on my hands and dust on my hands, and so you just want to make sure your hands are really, really nice and clean before you work with clay, so you're not transferring any dust into the clay. So I've got some white here that we're going to be making our gift tag earrings with. I'm going to just pop them here for reference. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly roll out this white. And before I do that, I'm just going to clean my tool as well. Because, I mean, some colours, it's okay. Obviously, you don't ever want to transfer colours between your clay. But white is a very, very unforgiving colour. So you just want to be really, really careful with it. And even now, I have dust on my clay, and I'll explain to you in a moment how to get rid of that. So I'm happy with how that's rolled out. And now I'm going to grab my gift tag shape, and you can print something off of the internet. That's what I originally did, but then I threw it away. So I had to trace it out again today. So this is, yeah, you can print something out from the internet, or, if if you're good at making your own, then definitely do that. But this is the gift tag template that I have, and I'm just going to pop this down here, and then I'm going to grab my my tissue blade. I'm just going to cut around the template. Now, I mentioned how to get rid of dust from white. Raw clay, if you're using raw clay, the best thing to do is, let me just get rid of these. If you're using raw clay, the best thing to do is to use some rubbing alcohol. Now, this isn't something that I do, but I know it's something that a lot of polymer clay makers do. So definitely research rubbing alcohol and polymer clay if that's something that you're interested in doing. That's when it's raw. Once it's baked, if you have any dust or hair or fingerprints on your clay once it's baked, I mentioned this in the last stream, the best thing that you can use is 100% acetone. And just pop some on a earbud or a cotton bud, Q-tip, whatever you want to call it, and just lightly work the area that you're trying to clean. Now, one thing I would say is that it can be really unforgiving. It's something that you really have to practice to get it right. So please do that on your scrap pieces before you do it on your beautiful pieces, because it can kind of ruin the clay. But don't let that stop you. Once you get the hang of how to use acetone, it is an invaluable tip to use and to have as a polymer clay maker. So I've already got some dust there, so that's brilliant, but I'm not going to worry about that. Again, I could use some rubbing alcohol, but I usually just leave it, bake it, and then just get rid of it with acetone. I just find it's easier that way to do that. So now what we need to do is just I'm going to create the red bow in the middle. But before I do that, I'm just going to pop this onto some parchment paper. I've got, I don't know why, but I've got Pritt stick on my X-Acto knife. So if you're like, well, what is that? It's dried Pritt stick. So let me just grab this. Sometimes I prefer to take these off, but they're really great as a guide just to tell you which side you should be using. Always be careful and make sure you use the right side of the X-Acto knife. Trust me, you do not want to make that mistake. It is painful. Right, so I'm going to pop that piece on here. And why I'm using this parchment paper is just so that I can move it around easily without having to pick up the clay itself. So now that that's done, I'm going to grab some red. I'm just going to pop this over here. I'm going to grab some of my red, and this is pre-rolled. and it's slightly thinner than the white clay. I'm just going to actually pop this through my pasta machine just for time's sake, so bear with me. But if you don't have a pasta machine, you just do it exactly the same way, using your popsicle sticks, your coasters, whatever you're using. Obviously they just need to be a little bit thinner in width, and you just go over it again with your roller and make it nice and flat. So to create the bow, all I do is just cut some rectangle shapes, or some lines, basically some parallel lines, I guess. Okay, so that will be the first one. Actually, I could probably just use this one. Let's try that. Let's cut the end off, and I think it could be a little bit thinner towards this end, so I'm just going to even it out a little bit. All right, lovely. So I'm just going to grab this with my tissue blade. I always forget the name of it. Tissue blade. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that there for a second, and I'm going to bring back my piece here, and I'm going to pop this on top and just place it, try and get it as central as I can. Okay, I think that should be good. It's not really central, but let's try. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is just cut this side off. Now you can actually just create a cross straight from the clay, which is what I did for this. But I thought I'd show you an easier way. And what I mean by that is actually creating the whole, ignore the bow, but creating the whole cross in one, which you would just literally just use your X-Acto knife to cut the shape out. But I think this is a much easier way to do it, and we'll hide the joins with the bow. So I'm going to show you this way instead. So I'm going to place the bow. I don't really want it to be center, so I'm going to place it just down here, and I'm going to try to get it as close to join this piece here. I'm just going to cut that. And I think the other side looked a bit neater, so I'm going to use the other side. Just cut that off. All right, lovely. Okay, so that's that. And again, we'll hide this join later, so don't worry about it. So now we're going to create some stems to go, stems for the leaves. And for that, we'll need one of the greens, whichever one you like. I'm going to choose the darker one. And so for this, I don't really need much clay at all for this. So I'm literally just going to fold it and just roll it quickly. I'll try and do it slowly because I think when I go fast, the stream sticks a little bit. So just rolling that out. And I'm going to cut this even more because we really don't need very much at all. I'm just going to roll this out with my hands, obviously. You can actually use, if you don't like this and you prefer to use a tool, you can also use an extruder. I have one here, and you just pop the clay inside, and then you twist this, and all the clay comes out from the other side, and you can make really cute little shapes with it. But I'm going to do it this way because it kind of looks a bit more organic, I guess, more realistic, and it's more fun. Okay. Gonna cut this down again. Honestly, you really don't need very much, and I'm terrible at choosing. I'm great at color mixing quantities, but when it comes to quantities with clay and rolling it out, I'm terrible. I'm constantly like rolling and cutting, rolling and cutting, rolling and cutting. So I think that looks good. I'm going to have to cut this into various pieces now, just to make them even smaller. Okay, I think that is a good size. I mean, I went pretty thin on the other ones. I'm just going to try and get that to be as even as I can. Okay, that should be good. Oh, it came with me. All right, 2 seconds. And just move these out of the way. We'll come back to them in a second. And we're just going to place the first stem. So I'm going to place it. I'm just going to basically match exactly what I've done here. So we've got 2 on this side. And this is a bit long. So I'm going to cut it again. Maybe down to here. And then you can use your X-Acto knife just to place things, you know, and kind of shape it however you want it to look. I still think it's a little bit long, so I'm actually just going to cut it off there. And I'm just going to roll it very, very gently just to make the end look a bit more organic, but we'll be covering the end anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to pop another one down here. Let's do it roughly there, I think it was. Actually not there, we want it to come from the center so that you don't see the end of it. So bear with me while I quickly move that. Oops, stuck to my finger. Okay, let's pop it there. A bit fiddly, but we'll get there. All right, so we'll pop this one here. And then I'm going to just roll out a couple more. Let me know in the chat. I'd actually love to know, what is it that you make? Do you make a jewellery, or what are you planning to make? Are you planning to make jewellery? Are you planning to make home decor? What would be your favourite thing to make? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to just pop this one in there now. It's very fiddly. Okay. And then I'm going to make this one just a little bit shorter, just to make it look a bit more interesting. Earrings, oh lovely. That's Katrina. Margot, I'm planning to make jewellery. Oh, I love that, Margot. That's awesome. Earrings for starters, yes. Earrings are so great to make. There's just so many. Like, you can really get lost on Instagram and Pinterest just looking at like people's designs, and some of them are so intricate. It blows my mind, some of the things that you create. But even like the most simple ones can be so beautiful. You know, it's just all about the color, and it's just, oh, it's honestly just such a fun thing to do, to create with polymer clay. I love it so much. So I'm going to pop this one actually not so high. So that's something to always just think about with this design. You want to make sure that it's coming fairly low, because you want the bow to cover it. So that you don't see the join and it just looks really pretty. Then I'm going to grab this one here. there. Actually, I'm going to shorten it a little bit. I said this last stream, what I absolutely love about this is that sometimes when I'm creating a design, like right now I'm looking at this and all I'm thinking is spider. And I hate spiders. And I'm just thinking like, what is this going to be like at the end? But when you start adding the detail, it just brings it all together and it's just such an awesome experience. I just love polymer clay so much. So I'm just going to move that a little bit because I don't want the leaves to touch. And then I'm just going to do one more on this side here. Haven't started yet, but earrings, awesome. I'm addicted to making earrings. Yeah, honestly, it's so good. Oh, you bought your first FIMO yesterday. Congratulations. That's really cool. Did you get the colours for the workshop or did you get some different colours? Love to know. And yeah, I am completely addicted to making earrings as well, Katrina. I used to make them, and that's before Polymer Clay Loves kind of took over my life, and that became my job. But I would love to start making earrings again. You know, have my own little shop. That would be really, really cool. Okay, let's see. And I mean that in a good way, by the way, taking over my life in a good way, because honestly, it's just awesome. Really, really awesome to be able to like serve the community, showcase people's work. It's just really lovely. And I've met so many incredible makers along the way and just made some really wonderful friends. It's a really, really lovely community. So, oh, thank you so much, Katrina. That's so sweet of you to say. Other colours, and then I found you. Oh, oh, that's so lovely. But you know what? Like, I mostly only work with 4 colours, mainly because I make the colour recipes. But if you saw my drawer of FIMO, it's just insane how much I have. Sometimes I'm like, Emma, you're hoarding at this point. And I think maybe I should do a giveaway, to give away some of these clays, and I never get around to it. There's just something so lovely about having a drawer full of FIMO. So now we're going to do some leaves, and if you join me in the last stream, then you'll know exactly what I'm about to show you. This really, really cool hack to make leaves really quickly. I'm just going to quickly run this through my press machine. And we're going to be making leaves from the 2 different colours just to give it a bit of variety. So where is my factory knife? There it is. I'm just going to cut these out just to give myself a bit more space. I was saying in the last stream that I'm so messy when it comes to making, but sometimes it's necessary to be messy. So to create leaves, a really, really fun, quick way to make leaves is to pop a circle, or to make a circle of clay. I'm just going to make a couple here. A lot of people do this by hand, like drawing out the leaves with their X-Acto knife, or sometimes you can buy like the miniature clay cutters as well, you know, in the shape of leaves, which is a nice quick process. But when you're starting out, you want to, you don't want to spend too much money, you know, and you're just kind of exploring and seeing how you can do different things. This is a really awesome way to create leaves, and it's a very, very nice, quick process. Because if you've ever made leaves before, you'll know that it can be very, very time consuming. But with this, not necessary. It's not necessary for it to be time consuming with this method. So I've cut some holes out here, or some circles, I should say. And I'm just going to grab a smaller tool, and I'm just going to go around the edge, and it creates a cute little, oh, I think it's paused. Okay, I think we're all right. A cute little circle, that's not circle, leaf, a cute little leaf shape. And with this, you can create so many different variants of leaves. You can create bigger ones like this. If you have an oval cutter, you can you can create different shapes like that as well. So that's basically how I do this. And yeah, it's just a really nice, quick way to make your leaves. So I'm going to quickly just cut as many of these out as I can. How are you guys doing in chat? It's all looking good. Okay. And I'm just going to do some of the other colours as well. Does anybody like florals? Has anybody made florals or thinking about making florals, or what kind of designs do you go for? I know florals is a really popular one. Also the abstract Matisse style is still going strong. It's such a great style. What's your style? I'd love to know. Let me know in the chat. Do you see how quickly it is to make leaves with this versus cutting them yourself with the X-Acto knife? It really is very quick. Okay, all right, that should be enough for now. Just do a couple more of this colour and then we'll do some more of it later. Oops. Okay, let's leave it there for now and then we can come back and do some more later if we need to. So now that I've done these leaves, florals, boho style, seasonal stuff, yes, I love that. Really, really love that. Boho is awesome. I did a boho colour palette for Stella FIMO a few months ago actually. There's some free colour recipes for it on their website. That was really, really fun to make that slab. So what I'm doing here is I usually start at the top and just place a leaf at the top, because it just finishes it off nicely, so it doesn't just stop, you know, randomly at the end. We don't have a random stem just at the end. And then I'm just going to place the other ones as well. And what I do is I like to place them kind of alternately. So I don't like to place them exactly the same like level on each side, if that makes sense. Level is not the word, but I can't think of the word right now. I should just say place, shouldn't I? I don't want to place it in exactly the same place on either side. So I like to kind of dot them in between each other. I'm going to use a darker one here. And just use your X-Acto knife to place them as best as you can. Sometimes I prefer to use my fingers. Sometimes I find that it's just a lot easier. Just depends what mood I'm in, really. Okay, and that one's a bit close. I'm just going to move it down. Don't be afraid to move things about. I mean, you don't want to move things about too much because the colour can transfer, but if you place them lightly in the beginning, then you can kind of move them around. Now, last stream, I had a question about sticking raw clay to raw clay, and I just want to cover that again because I know that it's a question that comes up. When you're obviously this whole thing is raw clay at the moment, and when you're sticking raw clay to raw clay or placing raw clay on top of raw clay, all you have to do is just give it a pat like this, a very, very gentle pat, and then when you pop it in the oven, it will all kind of fuse together. Because I know it looks like, oh, this could all fall off, but it doesn't at all. This is exactly the same way that I made these, and you know, they're on there, they're fixed on there beautifully. So yeah, raw clay sticks to raw clay really well. If you are worried, you can use some FIMO glue, and I'll see if I've got some here. It's not necessary, but if you want to, you can use some liquid and just pop little dots where you put the leaves. But it can get a bit messy, and it's not necessary, but you can. It's necessary if you've if you're doing florals and you've got, say, a massive flower, then it's absolutely necessary. But if you're just creating little flowers and small leaves like this, it's not necessary. You just need to make sure that it's, you know, that you've patted it down nicely into the clay. To be honest, florals are a whole thing themselves. There's a lot to learn with florals. It'd be awesome to do a workshop on that one day. So I'm just going to place one at the top. I forgot to do that. I mean, it doesn't really matter what order it goes in, but just pop one there. Actually, I think I'm going to do it in a dark colour because this stem is dark. So I'm going to do that one in a darker colour. Oops. Okay, and then let's just do the rest. I'm going to stick that one there. I've just looked at the stream. How's it been 45 minutes already? Time really flies when you're having fun. I thought we'd only been here for like a good 20 minutes, but honestly, I've been having so much fun with you guys that I've not even realised. So I'm going to just pop this one in there. Oops. Okay, well, I've just managed to move everything at once. All right. Yeah, okay, lovely. That will do nicely. I'll just pop it there. And then you want to also, when you've got two stems together like this, you just want to also think about the space. So for that side, obviously there's a lot of leaves going on there. So I'm going to grab a smaller leaf, and I'm just going to place it kind of in between here. I'm just going to push that so it lines up a bit better with that last leaf. Okay, I'm going to add this one here. Oops. So tell me, guys, are you going to be making these gift tag earrings yourself? If so, is it for a gift, or are you going to make them for yourself? These would actually be really cool, not just as gift tag earrings, but just, I don't know, what could you use them for something else? They might be a bit big for wine charms, but maybe like a smaller version of this for wine charms would be really, really cute. Or yeah, bracelet charms. That would be super cute. I'm going to go back and pop a leaf in here. Let me know in the chat who you're planning to make these for. See. Yes, an ornament. Oh, you're having fun too. I'm so glad you're having fun. It's just, honestly, it's so nice. I never thought that I would stream in my life. I never thought I'd do this live because I'm so shy. Unless I've known you for ages and I'm just such a shy person. But honestly, it's just been so awesome to stream and to hang out with you guys. It's so much fun. An ornament, yeah, I love that idea. That would be really pretty. Yeah, and even to hang it off of your Christmas tree. That's what you meant, isn't it? That's what you meant. I'm being so silly right now. Yeah, it would be awesome as an ornament. It would be really, really cool. In fact, actually, I might make this into an ornament and put it on my little Christmas tree. I wanted to put up some lights for you guys to make it a bit more Christmassy, this stream, but I didn't have time to. I do, however, have a tiny little Christmas tree behind me, which I might show you later. So I have got a bit festive. I'm just going creating some last few leaves now. And then we're going to do the detail. And that's really where the magic happens, and the bow as well. That is really where the magic happens. And it all kind of just comes together beautifully. And then I'll be telling you how I bake, how to bake these, or how to harden them, sorry, I should say, in the oven. And then we get to the really exciting part. Well, actually, all of this is exciting, but we do the giveaway, and I just can't wait. So I think that should be enough leaves now for the rest of this. So I'm going to quickly place them. Okay. I don't really like this big leaf here, so I'm going to just swap it out. Oh. And then there's just something in the corner of your eye that doesn't look quite right. And I'm going to, sometimes placing the leaf at the top really makes a difference. It really helps you to work out where the other leaves should be. Let's see. Let's pop that on there. All right. Do you guys have any polymer clay related questions for me? Don't forget the moderators are here to help you. So this is the perfect time to ask any questions that you might have. Get them answered. I also have a Facebook group if you want to join that, which is completely free, and there's loads and loads of other makers in there, and you can ask them questions and they'll help you. This is really lovely community and they're really, really helpful. I don't like that colour there. I'm going to use this one. It's a bit big, but for the sake of time, I shall leave it. And just trying to, sometimes the leaves get all stuck together. Okay, and then I've just got one more. So yeah, I was saying the Facebook group, you can access that via the link in my bio. And yeah, it's just a really cool place to just ask questions if you're ever stuck on anything. Everyone there is just really lovely and they'll help you. All right, so I'm now just going to place the last few leaves on here. I should have made some more of the darker ones, but I did not. Let me use this dark one at the end. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to use the lighter green ones on this stem, but just pretend that they are alternating colours. We'll just pretend. Okay, almost there. Can I get one more in? No, I think that's good. All right, so the last thing, well, there's a couple of other things we need to do. We've got a few details here. So I'm going to just grab, I'm going to have to make a couple more leaves. So bear with me while I do that, because we want to make those cute little details with the berries on them there. And that's just to kind of fill any gaps, any spaces that you haven't used. If you feel like it's a bit bare, then that's a perfect way to just fill any gaps. I'm going to just cut one more circle of green, the dark green. I just started FIMO and love it. It's so fun and relaxing. Oh, it really is. It really, really is. I could sit here all day and do it. It's such a wonderful craft. I'm so glad that I found it. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Okay, so I made my leaves and I'm just going to quickly make some berries now. And I'm just grabbing the berry red to do that, and I'm just going to take literally a tiny little bit and I'm just going to roll a circle in between my fingers, and I'm just going to pop it on like that, and we'll smush them down afterwards. And don't worry too much. You can just kind of place them on. Just make sure that you leave enough space for leaves. I love your name, by the way, Crafternoon Teas. Your display name. That's such a cool display name. Okay. I'm just going to add those two there. And just position those berries a bit better. Okay. There's not really too much space for another leaf there, so I might just leave that one. Or maybe I'll put it in there. No, there's not enough space. I'm going to just leave it with two leaves. Kind of look like cherries. Okay. And then I'm just literally going to cut another small tiny piece. Pop two there. And then I will do one more down here. Oh, that's quite big, isn't it? Let's make that a bit smaller. Oh, thank you so much, Crafternoon Teas. That's so kind of you to say. So now I'm going to just quickly pop some more leaves on. Sometimes it's really a battle because there's a white space there, but it's like, how do I fit everything in? I think I'm going to do it a bit further down. They're not exactly the same as the ones that I made before, but that's okay. They don't have to be identical. Okay. One other thing to note when you're making earrings, is to, if you can, I mean, it's just a preference really. It's not really a big deal if you don't, but with these ones, I've mirrored it. If you can see, I've tried to mirror it. So that's just something to think about. I just wanted to mention that to you because when I first started, I didn't really think about mirroring things. And then it was only when I got to the end of making the earring and I was like, oh, oh, I wish these looked like they should. You know, you want them to kind of reflect each other. But I mean, you don't have to do that. It's totally down to preference. Okay, so we're almost there. If I can turn this leaf around. Okay, I think that should be fine. And I'm just going to quickly, gently press these down. And then I'm going to grab this here. This is a bead tool. FIMO kindly sent me Stettler. They kindly sent it to me. So you can buy these from Stettler. They're great for making holes in your earrings, like, you know, up here. I've made this hole here, and they're just great for just generally making details. So I'm going to just quickly use this to press in the berries, and by pressing these in, you're just making it even more secure. And then I'm not going to do every single leaf because otherwise we'll be here till midnight. But for this one, for this leaf, let's see if I can, let me see if I can just quickly autofocus it so you can see it properly. Bear with me. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's some detail on these leaves, and it's just simple detail, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So all I do for that is I just grab my X-Acto knife and just go to the center, and I'm just going to press in the middle. You can do this with a popsicle, not a popsicle stick, a toothpick, a pin. Oh, that one went a bit wrong. Yeah, a needle, whatever you have, and just, you know, adding that detail just makes it really, really pretty and just finishes it off beautifully. So that's how I add the detail. Now we're going to quickly make the bow. And let's have a look. Yes, you can rewatch the workshop once it's just use the exact same link to rewatch the workshop. If you missed anything, you can just watch it back. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly make the bow. And how we do that is, if you might remember, if you were with me in the last stream, we just make a shape of an eye, except that they're not joining, like either side is not joining. And then we go down on either side. And I'm just going to do that exact same thing again to make the other side of the bow. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I tell myself to make myself feel better. But what you do now is you grab these two little sections and you fold them over, and do the same with the other section. Actually, even before you do that, you want to place the little ribbons on. So let me quickly do that with you. So for that, again, we're just going to make another line here, and I'm just going to cut. How big are these? They're not very big. I'm maybe going to just do it that size. Oops. And the edges are a bit kind of frayed, so I'm just going to neaten them up quickly with the edge of my X-Acto knife. All right, and I'm just going to kind of square them out just so that they look nice and neat. All right, so now I'm going to just quickly make the V shape of the bow. Just going to cut into the end there and pull it away, and do the same with this side. And then what I'm going to do is, oops, try to pick it up. I'm going to attempt to pick it up. And I'm just going to place it kind of off to the side. And this one as well. So they're kind of meeting in the center here. And then what I'm going to do, actually these bows are slightly longer than, I'm going to do one a bit shorter because I think it will look a bit nicer. I'm just going to, I've just cut into that, which I shouldn't have done. That was very naughty. Don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Cut it before you place it. But I'm just going to make that shorter. Just because I think it looks a bit prettier when there's a shorter side. And then I'm going to grab my bow piece and I'm going to just gently tap it down. And the same with the other side. I'm just going to grab the end of my X-Acto knife here and just kind of press it down in the middle and kind of push them together. And what I'm doing by pushing them together is I'm just creating more of a, like making it look more 3D. So just creating like, you know, just making it look like more of a puffy bow. And then to cover that detail, the last thing you need to do is just make another little rectangle. I'm going to make that one slightly thinner. And then just place that rectangle over the middle. And then gently, very, very gently, just fold it either side of the bow and kind of tuck it under. I think that's like, be careful not to make it too short, which I almost did, but it just fits. So I'm just going to tuck that in. Tuck that in with my X-Acto knife and just do it really, really gently. And you can use your finger a little bit if you need to as well. Okay, so that's the bow. And then just for the last bit of detail, I mean, you can leave it like this. I do think it looks pretty like this, but if you wanted some detail just to make it look more fabric-like, again, I just get my bead tool and I'm just pressing down in the middle and then either side of the bow in a V shape. We're getting close to the giveaway, guys. I'm so excited. I don't think I did do any detail in those, so I'm not going to do the bottom ones, but you can. You can do the ribbon, like detail in the ribbon if you want to, but I'm going to leave it. So that is how you create these. And the last thing you want to do is just, I mean, you can use a beading tool if you want, but just because a gift tag, they usually have those larger holes to put the ribbon through. So I thought it might be a nice detail to use a slightly larger hole. But usually if this was just like a normal design detail, I just use like a bead tool to make a smaller hole. But I just think it gives it a nice effect. So there we go. Okay, so that is that, and I'm going to quickly just run through how I bake this, or sorry, harden it. So hardening, what you'll need is you'll need to preheat your oven to 100, and I personally bake at 130 degrees. You can bake FIMO between 110 and 130 degrees, completely up to you. That's just my preference, is 130 degrees. So you preheat your oven. Once it gets to your desired temperature, then you would pop your clay in. The most important thing to note when baking is it's really, really important to use a thermometer. And the reason for that is because oven temperatures, they're not always accurate. So you just want that extra peace of mind that you're baking at the correct temperature, because you don't want to overbake and ruin your piece, and you don't want to underbake, which will also ruin your piece, because if you underbake it, it will be more prone to breaking. So yeah, just pop this in the oven, make sure that it's the right temperature, and then you pop your clay piece in. Now, what I do is I usually use a pizza box or a small box. I don't buy boxes, they're just boxes that come in the post and I save them. I have various different sizes for different projects, but for this one, I would just use this small box here. Then I would take this piece, let me grab my X-Acto knife. You can bake on baking paper, so you could just put this whole thing into the box, but I prefer to bake on card. Some people even bake on printer paper. That's absolutely fine. I just personally prefer to bake on card because I find that printer paper and parchment paper creases in the oven and can just kind of ruin the back of your pieces. So I just prefer to bake on card personally. So I just grab this piece as carefully as I can. And then what I would do is I've got my box, it's lined with some card. Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot to say how long I baked them for. Thank you so much for that, Crafting and Teas. I bake for 30 to 45 minutes. Usually 30, but you can bake for 45. The wonderful thing with polymer clay is if you're baking at the right temperature, and it absolutely is the right temperature, so between 110 and 130, obviously please don't forget that it's in the oven, but it just won't burn. You can leave it in there for an hour and it won't burn if it's at the right temperature. But yeah, what was I going to say? 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. So I've really lost my train of mind there, didn't I? My train of thought there. So I would just pop this into the box as it is. And piece, if this wasn't a 3D piece and it was completely flat, I would pop the piece in, I would place another piece of card on top of it, and then I would place a ceramic tile on top of that. And what the ceramic tile does is the weight of the ceramic tile stops any air bubbles from rising up in your clay. Now, don't ask me how, but when you create 3D pieces, I very rarely get bubbles, so it shouldn't really be something that you need to worry about. However, if you do get bubbles, you can use acetone to remove the bubbles. If that's something that you want to do, please DM me, because it's quite a process and I want you to get it right. And definitely don't do it on your nice pieces. Again, if you have any scrap pieces that have bubbles, test it out with acetone, 100% acetone, and just try to get rid of the bubble with that, and just test it on that before you do it on your nice pieces. But you can get rid of bubbles with acetone. Again, DM me, I'd be happy to share the video with you that I've made on that. Let me know. You can DM me at Polymer Clay Loves. So that is how I would bake this. And I'm just thinking, or harden this, sorry, I need to say harden, not bake, because we're not baking a cake. So yeah, that is how you do this. And yeah, I think that's it now. I'm just going through my list. I've showed you color mixing, hardening. One thing I didn't mention actually is the color mixing rules. And when you're color mixing, you just want to make sure that you're always using the same cutter. So I use this cutter here, and you want to make sure that you're always rolling your clay out at exactly the same width for every single color. And then you'll be sure to, you'll be sure to have, a very even recipe, and it will come out the right color. All right, guys, so that is that. We've just created our earring together, which is really, really fun. I'm just going to move the camera onto me so we can do the giveaway. One moment. Right, let me turn this around. Just pop that in there. Okay, that doesn't. 1 second. Okay. I've got a piece of card propping this phone up so that it sits just perfectly. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been so awesome to share this class with you. It's been really, really awesome. So. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us and the FIMO team. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So we're going to do a quick giveaway followed by a quick question time at the end. Oh, I'm upside down. My husband is laughing in the background. That is such a me thing to do. Help her upside down. Guys, if you know me, that is such a mean thing to do. But we're back. You can see me. I'm the right way around now, right? All right. So we're going to do the giveaway. So to be in for a chance to win the Jewel Tone collection made with FIMO clay, all you have to do is type the word me in the chat, me in the chat. So type me in the chat right now for a chance to win the giveaway. And whilst you guys are, typing me in the chat, I'm just going to give you a quick reminder that this workshop is available via the same link, so you can watch the replay. And so now is your very last chance to win. Again, type me in the chat. If you have already purchased this from me before, I have lots of other collections that I'd be happy to give away, or if you have a preference, that's fine. But yeah, type the word me. I'm going to draw it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm going to pick now. Do you know what? I just feel like I just feel generous. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, and I'm going to give every single one of you a copy of the recipes. So if all of you, all 3 of you, Matilda, Margot, Katrina, Melanie, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that third me in the chat, the name of the third me in the chat, but if you could please just type your usernames, your Instagram usernames in the chat, and my lovely FIMO team will write it down, and I will contact you, or just DM me. I'll contact you, but write down your Instagram handles in the chat so I can contact you, okay? And I will send you your free copy of the recipes. So the last thing is just any last questions. If you have any questions, please do let me know, and I'll answer them for you in a moment. Don't forget that there's loads and loads of fun tutorials. I don't know why I'm looking at this camera when you're over here. Don't forget that there's loads of fun tutorials as well as free colour recipes on the Stettler website. So please do check them out. They're so awesome, awesome company. Thank you so much, FIMO. And don't forget to check us out on IG. Search FIMO Stettler and Polymer Clay Loves on IG to find us. Feel free to drop into my DMs if you need any help. I'm always here. Yeah. Have you guys put your Instagram tags in? I can't see any Instagram tags. If you could pop your Instagram tags in the chat, because otherwise I won't be able to find you to send you your giveaway. Sorry, your prize. All right. Anyone got any questions? Thank you for showing us and giving us details. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, lovely. So I don't want to end the chat until I've got everyone's Instagram handle. So I've got one. Thank you so much, Margot. If the rest of you could just pop your Instagram handle, or if you don't have an Instagram handle, please contact me at Polymer Clay Loves. What I'll do is, John, can you take a screenshot of all the people? Okay. If you don't have one, I will, what will I do? I don't know what I'll do. I kind of do need them. Thank you. There's another one there. Awesome. I don't like this. Hmm? No, I don't know. It's not connecting though. Let me just try one more time. Oh, you can hear me. Oh, you can hear me, but it's not okay. Right, let me just try one more time. In the chat, please do so now, so that I can contact you and give you your free guide. And let me just try and do that. Today, thank you so much for being here. I don't think it's going to come back on, guys. So listen, thank you so much for being here. Please, please, please drop your handle in the chat if you haven't already, otherwise I won't be able to find you. But thank you for being here. It's been awesome, awesome, awesome. You have a great night too, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the stream now, okay? So if you haven't put it in already, put your handle in now. Oh, I'm sending my love back to your 9-year-old daughter. Thank you so much, Miss Hilda. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I don't think it's going to work, so I'm going to log off now. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Thank you.